He has a legacy that is so immense. Many people have come, but his own is unique. But more importantly for us at the GFF, and I'm sure Honorable Minister will agree with me for that, because we want people that not only play football, but graduate into management, so that the foundation that they themselves laid, they can even build higher on it. This is the opportunity that this gentleman have for our country. It was not meant for long speeches, but his contribution against to this scorpion, because a lot of work happens in the background, both technical, administrative, and logistic. But more importantly, keeping the discipline. Modou Jagne is the glue that keeps the Gambia senior national team together. Because as a federation and as a country, we are not endowed with all the resources that other countries and other teams that we meet. But he is the one who led the players to accepting the remuneration, or if I call it compensation or whatever, because we cannot pay them, package that the GFF has agreed with. And along all this journey, regardless of whatever is being said, unlike other countries, we never had a dispute about pay with the senior national team, thanks to this gentleman. I think it deserves a round of applause for that. No matter how hard or how difficult it could be, he is the one that keeps the group together. We thank you immensely for that. At the beginning of the campaign, we participated in the qualifiers against Djibouti. It was a difficult journey, Honorable Minister. We had to fly from here to Casablanca and wait for 8 hours. From there, we had to go to Qatar and waited for another 9 hours before we get down to Djibouti. And that's the same route that we came in. There has never been any noise because of Modou Jagne. I want to end by really standing up for the football family and say thank you. From the bottom of our heart, we say thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Acting President, Mr. Bakari Kejame. By the way, he cannot blow his own trumpet. That famous 2005 tournament that also led us to the World Cup. And you remember the famous defeat of Brazil. These are records that I will never forget. They are like engraved in my memory. This man was the responsible, I call him, he was the architect of those training camps. Omar Sy will drag us to the office any time of the night and the day we have worked. So really, you also have played a part in that journey, and I'm a witness to that because I was there. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And now we will have to invite the minister, but before I do, I'm told there's a 10-minute video we will have to watch. So before you play the video, madam, allow me, because after the video then I'll pass the baton to the minister. We are blessed sports people, like Bagari will like to call it, football family. We are football bias, but the minister is here for sports. The minister is here for sports. I have seen this man in the just ended tournament in Cameroon. I've seen him sit with the boys at the attire booths. I saw him interacting with the lowest level among our ranks. I've seen him listening to anybody who he thinks have an idea, you know, to make things better. He has his modesty and humility is unmeasurable as far as I'm concerned. His commitment to the work and his love for sports and youth matters, you know, is unprecedented. I think Bagari will again agree with me. I work with many ministers from Sambafal down all the way through, and it's been a long time in football. But he's also had something I told him in the presence of His Excellency the President. That's luck. I think he has luck. When he came, it has always been triumph upon triumph. Honorable Minister, we love you. Like I told you in private, I'll say it in public. And we are happy to work with you, and we are sure that you will continue to support football. Because one thing I can assure you, now, because of our performance at AFCON, there are thousands and thousands of young people who believe that they can make it in this game, in this field, or in this career, you know, than even getting to university and having a formal work to do. So keep it up, and you can be rest assured that the Football Federation, and me, I can talk on the administrative part, but I know my boss will agree with me. We'll continue to collaborate with you personally and the ministry to make things happen. This is now a family affair. You don't even know whether this is a ministry staff. Today I just saw Lama, I said, I'm going to turn you to a protocol officer. Come, let's work. Bakari will tell you things were not like that some years ago. So all this is collaboration, and it's leadership that got us there. On that note, you can play the video, and after that, the Honorable Minister will also make a statement. And I know he and I also have some special relationship. I know something about that. Honorable Minister.
Cold Hamatan evening in December, the year 1989, in the small West African capital of Banjul, the cries of a young man were heard. Born to Mariam Jai and Suleiman Jagne, Pa Modou was born into a city that was family. At age 2, he will experience his first loss even before his speech firmed up, as he lost his mother to death.
رضي الله عنه البرزه المعروف مولى بن عباس احمد بن ورضي الله عن خير فيضته الكبرى الى شيخنا امير ابراهيم عبد الله ما السلام عليكم وبركاته. يا اكبتي شيخ يا خمني ابو تاي ما خمني سليمان جربات ci kër ga la yaroo ca Banjul ba jeexal school mu soogee ñëwaat ci man ci suma kër yi bopp man nekk ak man fii nii alhamdulilah ba yàlla may ko mu bokk ci football bi ca under 17 ba under 20 ba ci national team bi alhamdulilah rabbil alamin mu doon jullit njëkk jullit xattan doon taalu Tijaan xattan doon taalu Cheikh Ibrahim man mi maa ko tarbiya alhamdulilah rabbil alamin jub laa xam ci moom ak mbaax ak jàmm nit jàmm la waaw kenn xamu ko ci dara lu muy jàmm ak njub waaw alhamdulilah rabbil alamin loolu la dëkkee ñun loolu la nekkee ñun ba bisab tey bii nii alhamdulilah rabbil alamin ñu ngi koy gërëm bu baax di ko sant di ñaan yàlla retirement am bii yàlla na ko jik te yàlla na ko yàlla dimbale ba mu weesuwaat fii sax yàlla am na lu gën lii sax yàlla na ko yàlla jox lu gën lii yàlla na ko yàlla ubbee ci àddina bi yàlla mën na ko yàlla defal sant yàlla bu rëy parce que foo naa ne mooy ki njëkk ci Gambian boo xam ne yaa ngi retire officially ci nga nekk capitaine Gambia loolu teraanga bu rëy la ñu ngi wax alhamdulilah rabbil alamin ci loolu ñu ngi gërëm ñëpp nag waaye surtout nag Modou Moussa bi nga xam ne wax dëgg yàlla suñu doom la te nit ku baax la nit ku buggal ndaa la ku ko toppatoo la waaw ñu ngi koy gërëm ñu ngi koy sant ñu ngi koy ñaanal yàlla salaamaaleykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakaatu.
Pa Modou nag ñun doon nañoo wax lu gudda si moom waaye nag dinañ fexe tey ba nga xam ne duñ ko ëppal nag si waxtaan bu gàtt bii nga xam ne moom lañ bëgg a wax si Pa Modou di ñi ka xamal nit ñi ne man mii nga xam ne di nijaayam di tura Ismaila Gileen ñu xamee ma si dara man maa yaayam ñu bokk benn yaay waaw Modou nag daanaka sax moom xamul yaayam di Mariam Ndiaye dafa jur rek yaayam di dëddu àdduna waaye sama yaay di yaay ñi ma baaji yal na ko yàlla yërëm te xaare ko àjjana moom moo ko yar lu nekk si moom yëpp gannaaw yàlla moom moo ko def si moom mu juddoo Fayen dëkk Fayen yoroo fa maagee fa te lépp si ron maamam boobu noonu mu yaa ñi ma baaji soo nekkoon yàlla def yaa ñi ma yar ko yar bu rafet macha allah si ndimbalam yàlla ba nga xam ne yar bu mucc ayib Paa Modou alhamdulilah nekk na xale boo xam ne loolu alhamdulilah léegi nag mu dem ba jamono bi mu bugg a retire ci yaram bi di ko doon yëngatu si bool bi yëpp yal na ko yàlla barkeel tey yàlla.
In the city of Banjul, before proceeding to the Gambia Methodist Academy, where he continued to explore his love for the game. His mates will confess that Pa Modou was not the best footballer of his generation at his young age, but few could doubt his dedication.
My ex-teammate muy Pa Modou Jagne ñu amee ko si Ndaa nag ñun ñoo jógee benn classe ak day fële nañ ba pare bokkoon nañ school waaye man maa nekkoon seen mag man maa ko senior woon senior laa ko ak ñetti classe Ndaa mu doon football di play comme ñëpp ñu ko defee school team elmi night mu dem Gamtel from Gamtel mu ñëw Port from Port noonu la demee play professionnel waaye balaa professionnel bi play na under 17 si World Cup bi play na under 20 ak play na seniors one bi moom WhatsApp boobu noonu yàlla si ñu ko yàlla may si la bokk play na Gambia si catégorie yëpp si tournament boo paree moo nekk di force captain koo xam ne moo yóbbu Gambia si African Cup of Nations loolu rek history la waaw yaay ñu yokk.
It come more than a pass tactic. It played by a young to a team, one of the best 11 players until 2020.
He does effort, know it about everyone, you know. Yàlla rek moo la fay, you know, you stood by the Gambia. There were so many times, man xam naa ne, you know, you had lucrative offers, you know, to represent other countries, but you still choose to represent the Gambia. With all our endeavors and struggles you them through, you know, on national football level, you still stick by. I still remember I think it was 2006 or so, you know, we were at Summerfield Park in Birmingham, then they play for football. Modou Jagne was telling us that you had a trial in Sweden, and I was so happy. I remember I went back home straight afterwards and I sent you a message on, I think it was high five, you know. Hale doing high five nowadays, but that was a means of communicating, and we, you know, had a bit of chat, and then yeah, and things went on from there. You had your hiccups and all those, but you still stayed on the lane. You know, you never gave up. That's a motivation. Hopefully a lot of kids will learn from you. And another thing I would want to talk about is like, thank you very much. You know, thank you very much for the memories. And the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks of the app is
Mohammed, perhaps the only
Yeah, tolo na fonka bipam fonka duty service national team bi tolo na cir bipam du jox national team bi Pa Modou nak li ma wax si moom tey du bari tey dinaa focus si lim doon si national team bi Pa Modou leadership skill bu mu wane si national team bi Pa Modou yar bi mu wane si national team bi Pa Modou dignity ak cër bi mu jox ñëpp si national team bi kooku mooy Pa Modou dugalu moo def fonkalu moo def kooku mooy Pa Modou Jagne te xam naa ne tey jii mu ngi tàggatoo ak national team bi waaye xaale na yoon bi pour beneen génération bi ñëw te gën naa yaatal yoon bi gën naa won ñi fa nekk tamit naka la ñoo doxalee kon donc man maa ko ne jërëjëf jërëjëf Jagne ci fi nga yóbbu Gambia ak indi bi nga indi Gambia ak li nga muñal Gambia di la ñaanal yàlla li ci sa kanam yëpp mu nekk loo xam ne li gën ci yow la incha allah jërëjëf Jagne
Thank you very much for that video, and we will continue to have these videos as the night progresses. So before we go further, I just explain to you that the protocol, we are not using the normal protocol in this on occasion like this. Like I told you, I think this is the first time for me to remember that someone wants to make such a big announcement. So the matter, the issue, or not the issue, the event, the whole thing is around NDA. He's the, if you like, is the key person here. That's why he will be the last person to talk. If not, the minister should be the last person to talk. But you know, when programs like this also happen, we will always change protocol as we progress. By the way, now, before the minister come, I will have to invite Tuma. First, Tuma was going to speak on behalf of the family, but my dad said he will have to say something, and I agree with him, because this is his soul too. He brought Pa Modou up. I think it is important, even if you're going to say one word, for him to say something. That I agree with you. So Tuma, of course, I think Tuma, we all know her. She's from a football family. Hussein Njai, I think we all know, those who follow Gambian football. Is the sister of my friend, my brother, Modou Musa. Their dad had also contributed immensely in Gambian football. Bagari Jame was telling me so many stories about him as well. And I read an article by Tijan Masane Sise, who was doing some historical facts about the great contributions in our football development. This occasion and our qualification is for him too. These were people who were spending their hard-earned money. They deprived the likes of Tuma and Modou Musa and all of them, and spending them in football, paying match bonuses, paying travel allowances, sending kids to universities, and so forth and so on. So Tuma, this is an occasion you have every right to talk or to speak. Welcome.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Pa Suleiman Jagne for giving us NDA, because he's not only, NDA is not only his, but NDA is Gambia. And I would say, when I say football, it touches my heart, because I'm born from a football family. My dad did not only love football, he lived football. He breathed football. When he watches football, as a stubborn young girl, I would steal his Benson and I will swap it for the cheapest cigarette in town to test whether he would see whether what he was smoking wasn't his Benson. And he never notices that he was smoking Golwas, as we call it then. That's how naughty I was. And even though I'm older than Modou Musa, I was born from a family where the son is the head of the household. So before I say anything, I will thank my brother for sticking with NDA, not only for himself, but for our fathers. I say fathers because I had many. I had my dad, Usainu, I had Omar C, I had Uncle Babu, I had Kebades, who is the only one that is still alive with us, so I must mention him. I also had Uncle Tafangong, whom we've lost recently. So if I say fathers, I am blessed. That is why I am thereful to do what I do today. It's not only for Banjul South. Nah, thank you. And when I saw what Uncle Muntaha said about you, I was like, wow, no wonder. That is our Da. We thank you very much. And Uncle Suleiman Jan, thank you for giving us that. You have not retired. You have hung up your shirt, but your shirt will live with us. I was touched when Buck said that you took off your shirt and you gave it to Modou Musa for my favorite dad, Omasi, because he stepped on where my dad left until his last breath. We are not short of dads. They are gone, but they are with us in spirit. I was glad before Modou Musa went to Cameroon, he dropped a t-shirt with Obi, my dad, and Uncle Omasi. I cried that night. I'm like, wow, I have a brother. Not only a brother, I have a dad in him. Thank you, Modou. Thank you.
Thank you very much for emphasize, but really, you are right. You are so many dads, and those were people in football. Dad, so we will pass the mic to you. You can choose any language that you want to speak. You want to speak Wolof? No problem, Dad. Thank you, sir.
ñaan yàlla ne yàlla ñu fi yàlla defal jàmm pour ko mboolem doomu aadama ci barke yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tey bés bi kontaan naa trop because Pa Modou Jagne football bi daf ko doon si ñun ci suñ deret la ki ma ko tuddee moom mag la ñoo bokk ndey ak baay kooku football rek la ko man mii tamit noonu football naa ñoom Biri football naa ñoom Alaaji Ñaan yàlla xam na li ma wax Pa Modou nag suma doom la suma xarit la maa ko jur yaayam wax dëgg fekkee tey Pa Modou am na nijaayam boo xam ne moo ko yar kooku dundut moom tamit ki doon wax ci vidéo bi kooku tam nijaayam la mbay gi leen du ma ko fàtte mu ba ma koy fekke tey ndaa fu mun a taxaw ak imam Muntaxa maa ngi leen di gërëm ñaar ñii man yaruma ndaa maama ma ko yar ak Muntaxa Fay man maa ngi ba ñëw dëkkoon magam te kooku tamit wax dëgg mu tegi ci loxo maamam la dem man ci laa génn waaye Pa Modou Jagne ma de kenn musut a taxaw ne ma Pa Modou def na ma lii wala def na ma lu ma naqari musuma koo dégg ci suma life ba tey maa ngi koy ñaanal yàlla yàlla na ko yàlla may jàmm àdduna ak àllaaxira defal ko mbooleem doomu aadama fu mu bëgg a àgg ak njabootam yàlla na ko yàlla defal ci barke yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam
jërëjëf Dad jërëjëf inshallah yàlla dina jàppañaan. Okay, now we move on to the Honorable Minister who had introduced earlier. Honorable, you have your mic there? Yes.
ma war a bés bi di Modou Jagne Dar nuyu tamit suñu honorable Ousmane Juma nuyu director of planning ak programme si ministre bi Mr Diaw ak executive director sport council Marcel moo ko seen fële of course ñi fi nekk ñëpp président wala acting président di first vice président yi JFF Mr Jammeh ak ex-member bi Sadibou Mr Jassy di general secretary bi ak ki nga xam ne nii mooy suñu kilifa di famille Pamori tamit ñu nuyu la board bi Alaaji Jaaju from the youth council electoral youth council ñëpp ñi nga nuyu ñëpp ñi fi nekk ak journaliste yi ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy family members si Pamori yi ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñooy xarit yi ak football si fi nekk general sport person si fi nekk ñu ngi leen di nuyu man nag suma wax bi du bëri du gudda bu baax parce que benn comme ni ma waxee woon GS rek ma ne ko bi ma ñëwee fekk expert moo ne dañoo ñëw pour wax parce que dañ ma wax ne cocktail la so cocktail moom yëfi séeréer la ak Paul ñëw lekkal rek ñibbi waaye nag comme wax ci cocktail la ci tuuti dinañ ko gàttal rek waaye di gërëm rek ki nga xam ne ni mooy Pa Modou parce que yaakaar naa players yu bëri jaar nañ ci national team bi yu bëri play nañ waaye ku mel ni moom probablement jafe naa gis parce que not ñu bëri ñoo dee am opportunité boobu pour mën a play si under 17 play si national under 20 bi eventually nga egg si national team bi so loolu moom am na record boobu moom ak probably few other players ñoo am that opportunité boobu pour mën a def loolu waaye li si gën a am solo mooy du pour am opportunité pour play 17 under 20 ak national team waaye ki nga doon ak nit ki li nga wane ci bi nga play ci under 17 bi nga play ci under 20 ak ba nga play si national side moo am solo te moom yaakaar nañ ñun bi ñoo seetaani football under 17 boobu noonu yàgg na te yàgg na ñoom Pa Modou mi player ñu bëri ak ñoom si ko ñoom Coach Diallo ñoom ñu bëri yaakaar naa bàyyi ne waaye moom ba léegi mu ngi ci téye te ku nekk xam na ne benn Pa Modou bi gisoon many years ago lu passé fukki at ak juróom ci gannaaw benn nit kooku noonu moo nekk nii ba léegi jom ak pas-pas bi mu daan wane ci national team bi ci under 17 loolu la wane ci under 20 loolu la wane tamit ci national side waaye tamit almost everywhere fi mu play muy under 17 muy under 20 ak national side jot na Gambia ndam loolu moo si gën a am solo parce que ñun ñëpp réeré wuñ biir ne under 15 under 17 boobu noonu ñoo fi winoon tournament ba ñu dem si Nations Cup bi dem ci World Cup bi te bépp fi ñu dem wane nañ fa jàmbaate te wane nañ tamit represent nañ Gambia ekkati flag yi Gambia ci kanam loolu lañ wane waat again bi ñu demee Cameroon ne under Pa Modou leadership am team boobu noonu moo yóbbu Gambia si AFCON for the first time after many decades of try. So that is a record that not many people have, and we want to thank you for that. We want to appreciate all the sacrifice that you have done. We know, like the Vice President, first Vice President said, it's been a very difficult journey. And while players in other countries make a lot of millions, make a lot of money for playing for their country or for the clubs, in the case of the Gambia, it's different because of the financial situation that we are battling with as a country. But these players, together with his core of players, have done the ultimate sacrifice of not focusing on anything that is financial, but trying to represent the Gambia and raising the flag of the Gambia to higher heights. And that is one thing that us at the ministerial level and the government want to appreciate him and appreciate every other person that have done similar things. But again, like I said, leadership comes in. There are so many people that are leaders. But you see the difference. When things are good, the way the person behaves matters a lot. When things are rough, the behavior of the person also matters a lot. Here we have a captain who, whether it is good or it is bad, he is always the same person who is providing that leadership to the rest of the team. And in difficult situations, he comes out, and sometimes, whether he agrees with what the players say or not, as far as he is the leader, he believes that he needs to come out and represent the players and speak on their behalf. And sometimes he agrees with what they say, and he comes out and say it with joy. And that's one thing that we have seen. But again, all of us want the kind of videos that they produce in the change room, in the field of play, and you will see the command that he has among his boys. And we want to just thank you for that, and tell you to keep it up. I did not interact with him a lot. I said I've watched him over the past 15, 16 years, but our interaction started, I think, in 2020, after I was appointed. The first time for me and him to come closer was at Ozone Bay, when we were playing Gabon. And there at the Ozone Bay, we had a brief chat. We talked about a few things, including what we need to do to improve our football, what are the challenges that they're facing that he thinks the ministry working with GFF would do to ensure that the players and the team get some of the things that they require. And I remember one of the promises that he made at that time was that they were almost getting to qualify. And he said, if we get this and this and this, we can promise you that we will eventually qualify to AFCON. And we did our best to do that, and eventually Gambia qualified. So, Modou, as you retire, well, like you said, we're not supposed to say, but I guess it's already public. We want to say your role in football is not just to be a player. There's a lot that you can do. You've been a player, you've been a leader, but you can transform yourself into a manager. You can transform yourself into anything in the technical side of our national team or any of our teams. But you can also have the opportunity to do the same thing outside wherever you want to be. Because we've had so many players also that have transitioned from big players to being coaches, to being people on the technical side. And that you can do. But of course, we know the likes of Mr. Dong and others. But as recent as yesterday, Senegal won the AFCON for the first time. And who won the trophy for them? The coach, the former national team player. So the same thing can be done with you. In the next 5 years, 6 years, you can be Gambia's Aliou Cisse by being the former player who becomes a coach and becomes the one who That is something that we want you to do. And I think I told you that the other time. And I said, if you're retiring, I'm sure you will have a role to play in the GFF, you will have a role to play in Gambian football. So keep it up, and we want to wish you all the best in whatever you're doing. Of course, retiring players retire at the national side, but they continue to play at their club level. So hopefully you want to continue playing for your club, and we wish you success in that. But just one thing that I just didn't mention before I end my speech. And like I said, my interaction with him is recent. But in the short time that we interacted, I've seen a very honest person, somebody who speaks his mind. And sometimes some of you would see it in the media. Sometimes I, going to ahead with some of them. But but that's what it's supposed to be. The opinions are different, the views are different, but he speaks his mind and say what he thinks is not right or what he thinks is good. And for me, that is the kind of friendship that I want. And that's why within a